Johnny Camps. Hope everyone tried the problem. Let's finish it off this thing. So before going ahead with the graphs, right? So let me show you how do graphs exactly look like. Surya, finally you got a cam. I get to see you. Surya. What happened? Not well? Sleepy?
No, sir.
Not well. Chalo, others, Hadi, cams on, Abhinav, Niharika, cams on. Now, let's see. So before jumping into this part, let me show you some graphs. Now see, if you have a line passing through the origin, the equation is y is equal to mx. M is nothing but tan theta, the slope. Suppose if you have a line not passing through the origin, then this will be y is equal to mx plus c. This angle will be theta. This coordinate is 0, comma c. Again, just max, there's nothing there. So I'm just trying to show you how the graphs look like. So generally, right, in physics, the two most common graphs that you'll see is a straight line and parabolas. Generally, we don't have any other things. Now the other graphs are, let's say, if I draw y is equal to x square, let's say y is equal to ax square. You can clearly see here for x positive or negative, you get the same y value. So the graph is symmetrical on both the sides. It's like this, it's an upward parabola. Suppose if you have y is equal to x square plus 1. What does this mean? How will this look like? Just think of like this. If you put x is equal to 0, what do you get? You get y is equal to 1. Means it is still an upward parabola, but the whole thing got elevated by 1 unit. So this bottom will be 0, comma 1 now. The same thing, if you suppose take y is equal to x square minus 3, then how does this look like? At x is equal to 0, y is minus 3, meaning the graph starts from here. So by adding a number or subtracting a number, the graph simply goes up and down. Same thing, if I take y is equal to minus x square, then the whole graph will get inverted. It's a downward parabola. So here, if I take y is equal to minus x square plus 3, means at x is equal to 0, y is 3, mean the whole graph is inverted, but it shifts upward. Now, these things you should mug it up or remember them, okay? Then when they teach you in parabolas, they will teach you more dangerous ones. But for physics, this much is sufficient. Suppose if I have y is equal to minus x square minus 2. Means it's a parabola which is downward and it is also pushed downward, 0, comma minus 2. What is the difference between y is equal to x square and y is equal to 2x square? Suppose if you say this is y is equal to x square, if you say y is equal to 2x square, the parabola will be more closer. The value will rise faster, so it will get closer like this. Have a look at this page. So plus x square means upward parabola, minus x square is a downward parabola. Now in this, there are again variations. The general equation is this: y minus h is equal to a into x minus k whole square. So that would be a general equation. But fine, I just wanted to know whether it's an upward parabola or downward parabola, and from there we will see how to go ahead. So whenever you get a graph, right, the first thing you need to ask yourself is this a straight line or some curve? Getting it? Most of the times it won't be a parabola, or it'll be some other curve. So it is difficult to, figure out every graph. But luckily, right, in the exam, you have 4 options. So you can eliminate the options rather than actually trying to draw. So we will see how to do that also today. So graphs are actually easy if you know how to eliminate them. You should know the data points. Now, if I take the other kind of parabola, let's say y square is equal to ax. Now this time it is y square. Here it is x square. So here y square is equal to ax. Look at this thing. For a given value of x, there are 2 y coordinates. This is a horizontal parabola. So suppose if y square is equal to x plus 1, how does this look? Think about it. When is y 0? When x is minus 1, y is 0. And the parabola got shifted to the left, minus 1 comma 0. That is how you can check. When y is 0, x coordinate is minus 1, meaning the graph will touch the x-axis at x is equal to minus 1. Same thing, suppose if you have y square is equal to x minus 3. Same thing, when x is 3, y is 0. So graph starts from here. Suppose if you have y square is equal to minus x, the whole graph will reverse. So this will become a left parabola. So if you have y square is equal to minus x plus 3, so when x is equal to 3, you'll get y 0. So the graph shifts here. Always think like that. When is y 0? Find the x value. Y square is equal to minus x minus 1. Minus 1 comma 0. So roughly this much idea you should have about parabolas. We do have other shapes like hyperbolas and all, but when they come, I will teach you. And by the time maximum, they'll teach you anyway the conic sections. This much idea you should have what is an x square. Basically, any quadratic equation is a parabola. So anything in the form of y is equal to ax square plus bx plus c is a parabola. Did you guys learn in Max wavy curve theorem and all? So in that you must have learned something like this. So you should have a little idea. So this is the basic thing. So we know how does a straight line look like. We know how does the parabolas look like. Any doubts on this page, please ask me. Let's get back to our question.
So can you show the previous page?
Hmm.
Thanks.
Clear? Great. So coming back to our question. First, let's see the VT graph. Like I said, the first question you should ask is it a line or a curve? So the first thing when we talk about velocity time graphs, what is the relation between velocity and time? So roughly we know V is equal to U plus AT. In this case, I know acceleration is minus G. So let's see the situation here. So when the particle is flying with U, goes up and comes down, the equation is V is equal to U minus GT. After the first collision, the speed becomes half, so it goes up and comes down. The velocity is U by 2 minus GT. After the third collision, the particle goes up and comes down, speed becomes U by 4. This is U by 4 minus GT. So if you notice something here, this is minus GT plus U. V is minus GT plus U by 2. These things are nothing but Y is equal to mx plus c. Doesn't this look like a straight line? So the first thing is our VT graphs are straight lines. That much you should know. Clear? Yeah. There's more data here. What about the H max? We have calculated this in the question 20 there. So H max is U square by 2G. So if I call this H, the second time the H max would be H by 4. Then the H max will be H by 16 and so on. Similarly, if I say the time of flight is T, then the time of flight is T by 2 and the time of flight is T by 4 and so on. So H will depend on U square and the time of flight depends on U. So total time will be T plus T by 2 plus T by 4, so on till infinity. This turns out to be T into 1 minus half, which is 2T. I'm just getting all the data ready. So one thing is clear. First thing you're dealing with a straight line. And we have the total time of flight also. Now, let me ask you this. Like I said, exam may write, there is no need to draw. You need to just check it out. You need to eliminate the graphs. Let me give you some options and you tell me. One second. What happened to the screen, Ray? You guys can see me?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, fine. Let's see. My desktop suddenly became dark. Okay. Yeah. So let's look at some options. like this. They'll give you some options. Now, understand one thing. Whenever you're going from the options, right, you can't find out the right answer. What you have to figure out is the wrong options. Once you know the wrong options, whatever is left out is the answer. Isn't it? Tell me one thing. If you can guess the right answer, why will you need to guess? So if these were the options given for the first question, VT graph, we will see how to draw. But if this comes in the exam, how will you guess this? So can you tell me which one are the wrong? D and D, this graph goes till infinity. This graph stops here. That's the difference between D and D. And I didn't draw it properly, but yeah. Now don't tell me the right answer. You have to tell me what is the wrong option. Reasons, God, reasons. So in the exam, you'll have the guts to mark the thing without thinking so much. So that is what you need to think. When you're saying this is the answer, you should have a solid reason. Because in the exam, right now you're telling me in the class, exam, you won't have guts to mark the answer. First thing, see. Why is the first one wrong?
So because we have an initial velocity, which is u and it
So
is not zero.
that's thing, yeah. So at t0, p is equal to u. So anything that starts from origin is wrong. So this guy is gone. This guy is gone. This guy is gone because we know it's a straight line. So give me a reason like that. So VT is a line. So F and G are gone. A is gone because you're starting from origin. Then why is B wrong?
So because when we are going down, the velocity will be negative, and here the velocity is
Perfect.
never negative.
So when coming down, V is negative. You can't see any negative here. So here there's no negative values. So great. Then what about C?
So our initial velocity is positive, but here initial velocity is negative.
Perfect. So T0, V is plus U. But here V is minus U. This is wrong. Now what about D and D? D and D will be the actual options. You will be stuck between these two because they look everything same. Plus AK difference that this will go till infinity, this will stop here. Like it said again, you don't know the answer. Tell me what is wrong. That's the first thing. When you are planning to guess something, you can't find the right answer. If you know the right answer, why will you guess? That's what people don't realize. Hmm. See, the catch was this. Look at this thing. The final motion rate stops at 2t. The graph cannot go till infinity. The motion of the ball stops at t is equal to 2t. So that is the reason this is wrong. You can't have infinity. Making sense? So the graph should get closer and finally stop at some point. We don't know where it should stop. So that way you can guess from the option. That is the reason why D is wrong and D is the, now we don't know whether D is the answer or not, but that is the only thing left out. So let's see how to draw this. Are you getting what I'm trying to teach you? I'm not trying to teach you how to draw, because drawing is fine. That will be more complex. Because exam mein, if you can see the data points, like Ahana said, right? T0 mein velocity positive hona chahiye. There should be negative. She is picking out the data points from the situation. And you should see, are these data points fitting the graph? So if you can do that, you'll be able to eliminate the options. So let's see how to draw this. So if you look at these equations here, you can clearly see the VT graph. So the graph first starts from plus u. It goes down till minus u. This angle is theta. You can get even more information. Now we know tan theta is the slope, and slope is nothing but dv by dt, which should be the acceleration. So in our case, tan theta should be minus 10. So exam they can ask thetas also. Then what will happen? Listen, after the first collision, suddenly the ball will go up. So the thing which is coming down suddenly will reverse. So the speed will become u by 2. Again, you'll get a straight line, a parallel till minus u by 2. Again, this also will be theta. Then the velocity will suddenly jump up. Again, it will become u by 4. Again, you'll get a parallel line. Again, theta minus u by 4. Again, you'll get a parallel line, parallel line, parallel line, parallel line, parallel line. Now, how do we know the graph stops here? Look at the time interval. For the first collision, the time taken is t. For the second collision, the time taken is t by 2. For the third collision, time taken is t by 4. The next one is t by 8. Next one, t by 16, and so on. So eventually, the graph should stop at 2t, 0. So we have a bunch of parallel lines starting parallel to each other, making an obtuse angle theta. And all the graphs will, as you get closer and closer to 2t, you'll get more and more lines, but the graph stops at 2t. This is how you draw the graph. Is this making sense? No, this is what I was saying. In the exam, instead of drawing the whole graph, if you know how the graph looks and if you know what are the data points, eliminate the graphs. That is faster. If the exam was subjective, you would have literally have to draw the graph. But luckily, it is objective. So why you want to solve the whole thing and then verify? Roughly, you have an idea how it should look and you can eliminate. Is this making sense, everyone? So the biggest problem will come. Most people will figure out D and D. They'll get stuck with that. The data point is the graph stops at 2t. Please have a look at this. Clear? Next one. This is the first one, VT graph. Next, the displacement time graph. Again, let's try to see from the options and then I'll show you how to draw. There. Now which are wrong?
B, C, D.
Think, take a minute, Devanshu. You can message, you can type your message. Let others also try. You think something is the answer, type in the chat box. Others also let them try. I want reasons, God. I don't want answers, Vihan. Because I can give you an option in such a way you'll not be able to figure it out. And then what will you do in the exam? Give me the reasons why it is wrong. It's okay. Don't worry about typing. Just think about it. I'll show you the answers and you can verify whether you got it right. Just think about each option. Don't bother about typing it and all. I know you can do it. I'll just give it in an exam in one paper, so then we will realize it. But now let's try to learn. There are many ways I can test you. Right? Think. Take a minute. That's the reason I'm not giving you 4 options. I'm giving you 6 to 7 options. Okay, let's see. First thing, if you see the equation, we know S is equal to UT minus RGT square. This is not a line. This is definitely a parabola. Quadratic equation. The A is gone, B is gone, straight lines are gone. Why is C gone? Again, if you look at this, at T0, displacement is 0. So you should start from origin. This guy is gone, this guy is gone. Again, this to be figured out. Motion should stop at 2t. The graph should end at, you can't go to infinity. Now, you might find another reason also. That is fine. We are stuck between E and G. E and G both stop at 2t. Both start from origin. Both are initially increasing and both are decreasing. Now, by feeling, you can say answer is E, but you tell me why G is wrong for sure. There are at least 2 ways you can say that it is wrong. Because A is greater than 0. What are you talking? Velocity is increasing for a G. Velocity is increasing. Yeah, right. That is one. If you look at the slope here, the slope is decreasing. That is, velocity is decreasing, which is true.
So can we say that the coordinate of the t square is negative, so it will be a downward parabola?
Where it is negative, no, that is mathematically you're trying to figure out, no?
Yeah.
Anything else? Any other reason? Fine, mathematically, but any other more solid reason? Exam is sometimes you won't get every time the equation only. If it's a cubic equation, you won't be able to figure out. But this thing is more reasonable. See, if you try to draw the slopes here, if you can see slope is increasing, means the body is going up faster and faster. So that is one way to say it is wrong. Another thing, look at this tip here. At this spike here, you can have a tangent, you can have a tangent. There are 2 tangents. Means there are 2 velocities. That is another big idea there. So generally the sharp points, right, are not differentiable functions. You'll have two slopes at the same point, meaning you have two velocities, right? And also you can say like this, at the topmost point, velocity should be 0. Topmost point velocity is not 0. Is this making sense? Like what you said, Ahana, that is also right. Because it is a minus t square, it should be a downward parabola, like this. So there are multiple ways you can say why G is wrong. Clear? This is what I was saying. Finding something wrong is more easy than finding something is right. And when you, because you're pretty sure, right, it is wrong. Now, if I ask you why E is right, you can tell me 10 points, but still you'll not be convinced it is right. Because see, to prove someone is a bad person, it is pretty easy. Just say one bad thing about them. But to prove someone is good, throughout the life, you have to keep saying he is doing good. That way. Now, getting back to solving the equation. How do we solve this state graph? So we know the equation is S is equal to ut minus half gt square. This is clearly, if you think about it, there is one more equation which looks like this. Y is equal to ax minus y is equal to x tan theta minus gx square by 2u square cos square theta. If you see, this thing looks like y is equal to ax minus bx square. And for this, the graph was this. That is another thing which I've already studied, so we can use this. This is the parabola, isn't it? Equation of trajectory. Remember, y is equal to ax minus bx square. So that was a parabola which we have studied. So when you try to plot this graph ST, you start from 0. That's the first thing. You go up, you come down. This is your h max. And then h by 4. Then h by 16. Then you become smaller, 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 smaller. And the graph stops at 2t. So the height becomes 1/4 and the time becomes half. Is this clear, everyone? Now, you know displacement time graph. How do you draw distance time graph? Try. So whenever they ask you to draw distance time graph, understand you have to first draw displacement time graph. How will we get a displacement time graph from here? Let me give some options again. Let's try. Which one is wrong? Ansh, which is negative here? Nothing is negative.
So the ones in which distance is decreasing is wrong because
Yeah,
distance is
yeah.
never.
Type your answer, na. Type your answer, na. Let others also try, right? That's what I was saying. Let others also give a chance. Type your answer. You want to say something? Type your answer. And nothing is negative here, right? Meaning you're talking about slope, yeah? Okay, slope, then first
sir.
increases and then gradually. Okay. But Ishana, even if B may also distance is not decreasing. Can't hear you. The mic is not working, I guess. Yeah, all the graphs stopped. Yeah, first thing, see. This is an important point. In a distance time graph, distance is always an increasing function. Because you go front or you come back, distance will always increase. Means in a graph, the distance should never come back. So if you see that sense, this guy is wrong because if you see it is decreasing here. This is wrong because initially S is 0 at t is 0. You're not starting from 0. C is definitely wrong. This is a displacement time graph. Again, you can see it is decreasing. This is also wrong, decreasing. You're stuck with B and E. If you look at B, what Ansh said was right. If you look at the slope here, slope is increasing, means speed is increasing. That is wrong. Only thing left is E. But let's see how to draw this thing then. So whenever someone asks you displacement time graph, you first always start with displacement time graph. This is what we do. Yeah, right, Vihan. So what we have to do now, whichever is decreasing, think about it. Whether you go up or down, you'll always increase. So whichever parts are decreasing, we flip them. You're getting? So in the displacement time graph, whichever parts are being pushed down, you flip them. So the graph would look like this. So initially the starting part is increasing. So increasing, there's no problem. Then this part will flip it up, meaning the graph was supposed to go down like this. You flip it up. Making sense? So whatever is going down, you just add it up. Then again it is increasing. So increasing the problem nahi hai. Just keep it like that. Then it is again decreasing. So it is supposed to be like this. So it will flip it up. Then again it would be like this. Flip it up. Increasing, flip it up. So you got the thing. And this thing just goes on increasing. Make sense? So basically, flip the parts like a mirror image, which are decreasing. So if they ask you to draw a distance time graph, you need to draw a displacement time graph and then flip it. Is this making sense, everyone? So that is how we get this Eka graph. But like I said, if you can figure out which are wrong, you'll be able to do the question much faster in the exam at least. Because if you can actually draw the graph, means you can be able to eliminate the graphs even faster. You should know the data points. Let me give you one more like this. You draw this. This is a displacement time graph. Can you draw a distance time graph? Yeah, fine. So I gave you a displacement time. I want you to draw a distance time. Try. Just give it a try. Just be back in a minute. Done. Let's see. Let's see. So whichever is decreasing or going down, flip them. So here, this is going down. This is going down. This is also going down. So the green ones have to be flipped up. The red ones can just simply be added up. So this would be a line. The green one will go up. Then this will go. The green will flip. This also will flip. Then this will be flat and this will be this. Make sense? So you simply add up the red parts. You can simply add up to the graph. The green ones, you flip them and add them up. So the graph will just keep going up. It should never turn down. Is this making sense? So distance time graphs are a little different one. So if they ask a distance time graph, you have to draw displacement time and then you have to go. So it is a little more. That's your third one, which we did. It's a worthy question. This is the reason I gave this homework. You can see how much analysis is there. Next thing is velocity displacement graph. So if someone gives you a physical situation and you have to draw a graph, it's actually easy to eliminate the options. And that's what I was trying to teach you. If you got this, you'll be able to get most of the graphs. So again, let me give you some options. You tell me what would be the answer for this. It's a VS graph for only one collision. which are wrong. Take a minute, think about it, then we will discuss. This is just for one collision. Ball goes up and comes back to the ground. First thing, ask yourself, how will the equation between V and S look like? V square minus U square is 2AS. So this can be written as V square is equal to U square minus 2GS. This is not a line. This is a parabola. To be more specific, this is actually Y square is equal to some minus AX plus B. This is actually a horizontal parabola. You can be that specific. But again, exam में कभी-कभी click नहीं होता है. That is fine. So one thing I know, it is not a straight line. So A is gone, B is gone. That much I can say. The horizontal parabola, vertical parabola, sometimes you don't figure out that. ठीक है, ignore that. Let's assume you don't know it's a parabola. You just know it is not a line. Now what? Now from the data, try to eliminate. Why is C wrong? When the ball goes up and comes down, the displacement should be zero again, isn't it? So initially your velocity is plus V, plus U, while coming your velocity is minus U. Means after one collision, finally the velocity should be minus U. Displacement should be zero. This guy is gone. D looks fine. D looks like plus U minus U, fair enough. E is gone. F also looks fine, plus U minus U. G is gone. H is also gone. We're stuck between D and F. Most of the time, you're always stuck with these two things only, generally. Now what? Again, that slope logic you can use. At the same point, you have two slopes. So we can finish off like that, and F will be the answer. So that is one of the technique. Now, because here you can't talk about velocity and all, because dv by ds has no meaning as such. So you can use a tangential logic there, it works. So generally, whatever curves we get are smooth curves. You won't have sharp points like this, generally. If you have collisions and stuff, you can create a situation like that. But for now, okay. So how to draw this? So we have v square is equal to u square minus 2gs. So one thing is clear, it's a horizontal parabola. And it is a minus x. So this guy looks like y square is equal to minus x plus, let's say, 1. This is this kind of parabola. Meaning, this is how the graph looks. You start from plus u, you reach h max. So we show an arrow here to show how the process is going on. This is minus u. And then after collision, your velocity suddenly becomes u by 2. Then again, you'll get one more parabola. But remember, this point will be h by 4 now. Then your velocity becomes u by 4. Then again, graph will be like this. You'll get like an onion. This is how the graph looks. That the height keeps on becoming smaller and smaller, h by 16. Velocity keeps becoming half. So vertical, it will decrease by half, and horizontal decrease by 1/4. So you get a lot of parabolas which are becoming smaller and smaller and smaller. You get something like an onion shell. Clear with this? It stops at the, yeah, eventually the graph will stop at the origin. That will become a point and eventually. Clear, everyone? There, that's how we got all the four graphs. Clear? Now, if a physical situation is given, you know how to draw the graph approximately. Out of all, this question is a pretty good one. This will be a proper advanced paragraph question or a more than one choice one. Great. Let's see a few more questions. Let's get this one. What would V distance graph look like? Try to draw. You draw and you send me, no? Then we can discuss. You show me your work. What about this guy? Okay, we have one option. What will you send on WhatsApp, Purvaja?
So do we have to send the graph on WhatsApp?
Which graph?
You asked us to draw the velocity timing graph.
For this thing? No. That is for Vihan. He was saying something, so I told him.
Oh, okay, sir.
And yeah, just ignore. Get this question 86. He messaged me something. I said, okay, send me. I will see. What is the answer? We have one option as D. What do others think? Type your answer in the chat box. We have one B and one D. We have one A also. One A, one B, one D. Others? Okay. Further, you change your answer. Okay. We have two A's and three D's. Three A's and three D's. Three A's and four D's. A and D are fighting. 5 A's and 4 D's. Okay. Answer is D. Now let's see. What is actually happening? The mistake is this. Acceleration is increasing and decreasing. So people think that acceleration is increasing and decreasing. So, velocity should decrease. You're messing up something there. What is acceleration? Acceleration is change in velocity, right? Here, acceleration is increasing and decreasing, but it is always positive. The meaning is speed is increasing, but it is not increasing as fast as before. Let me give an example. So here acceleration is increasing and decreasing. But always positive. That the speed will continue to increase. When will it decrease if acceleration is negative? If A had been negative, then the speed would decrease. Let me give you an analogy. Think like this. Let's say I'm giving you some money, okay? Tell me when the money is decreasing, okay? So initially you have 0 rupees. I gave you 10 rupees. Money increased or decreased? The amount of money you have increased or decreased? Increased. I gave 20 rupees. Increased. 30 rupees. Increased 50 rupees. Increased 30 rupees. Did the money increase or decrease? Money still increased, isn't it? Your money, the amount of money you have still increased, but it is not increasing as fast as before. If I give 20 rupees, it still increased. 10 rupees, it still increased. 10 paise, it still increased. If I take 10 rupees from you, now it will start decreasing. You're getting it? So acceleration means simply it will change the velocity. Let me give you some numbers, you'll understand. Let's say acceleration is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3, 2, 1. So the meaning of this is 1 meter per second square, meaning in 1 second, speed will increase by 1 meter per second. Let's say time is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Let's look at your speed, okay? Now you tell me, you're starting from 0. If your acceleration is 1 meter per second square, v is u plus 80, what will be your speed? 1 meter per second? Then your acceleration is 2. इसका मतलब क्या था? In 1 second, your speed will increase by 2 meter per second square. 2 meter per second. So your speed will become 1 plus 2, 3. Then your acceleration is 3, meaning your speed will increase by plus 3, 6. Is this making sense? Your acceleration is 4 for 1 second, meaning your speed will increase by 4 units more. 6 plus 4, 10. Then it will become 15. Then it will become 19. Then it will become 22. Then it will become 24. Then it will become 25. Did you observe one thing? Speed is always increasing. It is not increasing as fast as before. I hope this thing makes sense. Clear? So here speed increases, but it is not increasing as fast as before. That is the meaning of A is decreasing. That's the reason answer is D. If the velocity always increases, displacement always increases. Is this clear, everyone? Simple theoretical question, but you have to be careful because everyone will think this only increase, decrease. So you'll think increase, decrease. This is an AT graph. This is not a VT graph. Any doubts on this? The best way to think about is that money ka example. Think about that. If I give you 10 rupee, 20, 30 rupee, and then I give you 20 rupee and 10 rupee, I'm giving you less money, but I'm still giving you, right? The money will increase. Next one. This position is x is equal to 10 meters. There, this is a Vy. So this is a projectile is projected with an angle theta with some speed. The vertical component of the velocity Vy versus x coordinate is given. Now, they will give situations like this also, including projectile motion. Every time it won't be area, slope, area, slope. So the question is using this data, find the angle of projection. Try. Right, Puroja. We have one answer. Right, Jainil. Right, Vihan. Let's see. So, try to understand from the data here. The particle is projected with un theta. The first thing, this is 45 degree. That means this height is also 10. So initially uy, so from here we can figure out uy is 10 meter per second square. 10 meter per second. Second thing, tell me one thing, during a projectile motion, what is happening? At this point, at the highest point, what is the vertical velocity? Vy is 0. So at h max, the vertical velocity will be 0 and this distance will be r by 2. So indirectly, he's saying at this point, Vy is 0. So indirectly, it is given, this is h max. So that is what you get the data from the graph. Think about it, at which position the vertical velocity will be 0 at h max. That means at h max, the x coordinate is 10 meters. So indirectly, it is given r by 2 is equal to 10 meters. That means the range is equal to 20 meters. Uy is nothing but u sine theta. And we know range is nothing but ux into time of flight. Ux is u cos theta. Time of flight is 2u sine theta by g. But I know u sine theta is already 10. The u cos theta is also 10. You're done. The u sine theta and u cos theta, if you divide them, which is 10 by 10, we get tan theta is equal to 1. The angle of projection is 45 degrees. If you want speed, speed is 10 root 2 meters per second. Make sense? So the main idea is figuring out that this position, x is equal to 10, that is where the h max occurs. How do we know that? Because Vy is 0. That is the only position when the vertical velocity becomes 0. Is this clear, everyone? This is how you can frame data. Next one. Let's see one more. This is an easy one. Which of the following graphs are wrong? Which of the following graphs are not possible? Give it a try. This would be a simple mains level question.
Sir, in the third and fourth question, what are on the third and fourth option? What
This thing, it doesn't matter actually. Doesn't matter. Meaning it could be anything. Time, position, think of anything. Meaning no matter whatever it is, still you can tell the answer. Think, take 30 seconds, then I'll show you. Some of you did get right. Oh, just end up, you're not wrong, but that's incomplete. Right, Purvaja? Yeah, right, Vignachit. Yeah. Look at the first one. At the same time, you're at two positions. See, at the same position, you can have two velocities. Once while going up, once while coming down. At the same position, you can have two velocities. At the same time, you can't have two positions. Again, same thing. Two velocities at same time. Time के साथ वो problem है. Whenever there's a time, you can't come back in time. Speed can't be negative. So it doesn't matter which thing is there on the x-axis. What you asked was fine, but in this case, it wouldn't matter, luckily. This thing, length can't decrease. All are wrong. You can't draw any of them. None of the graphs are possible. So answer, you should mark all of them. If this is a more than one choice question, you will mark 1, 2, 3, 4. Clear? Is this clear, everyone? That is one thing about the graphs. The next thing, now what about, there are something called non-standard graphs. Now, non-standard graphs are really not much. It is just mostly calculus. Basically, in a non-standard graph, right, the areas and slope don't mean anything. So how do we solve? Step 1. Find the relation between the variables. Step 2. Use kinematics to solve. Meaning, use the v dv by dx or dv by dt, or v is equal to dx by dt. So basically, it becomes a calculus question. So let me show you an example. That's the best way to figure it out. Let's say someone gives you a graph like this, which is v and t square, time ka square. Now, if you see in this thing, slope, area, they don't make any sense. And someone give you a graph like this. It's a line passing through the origin in 45. And they gave you the initial position is x is equal to 2. So first thing, find acceleration and position. So first thing, this graph here, it looks like y is equal to mx, a line passing through the origin. Y ka place mein you have v, m ka place mein we have tan 45, and x ka place mein we have t square. So indirectly, he gave me the equation v is equal to t square. That's it. Once you figure this out, graphs are done. Now it is just simply kinematics. You want acceleration, dv by dt. That is 2t. There you got the acceleration. What is v? Dx by dt. That is equal to t square. So dx is equal to t square dt. Integrate on both sides. Time will go from 0 to t. When t is 0, x coordinate is 2, and this is x. So x minus 2 is equal to t cubed by 3. So x is equal to t cubed by 3 plus 2. So if they give you some non-standard graph, it is mostly a calculus question. You just find the relation between that y and x ka thing, and then just solve using kinematics. So in this, really, you don't have much to do actually. Have a look at this. Let me give you 1 or 2 questions on this. Any doubts on this? Clear? Can I go ahead? Surya? Abhinav? Arya? Arnav? Clear so far? Adi? Got this? Now, So you guys try this. So we have a graph between v square and 1 by x cube. So you're going from point A to point B. This is 1. This is 1 by 8. Actually, I wrote reverse. This is 1 by 8 and this is 1. So the question is, find acceleration. And time taken to go from A to B. Let's get this. Wait, I forgot to give something. This angle is 45. Like now, if you said it's v square and 1 by x cube, pretty weird one. This has no area, slopes, they don't have any meaning. So if you get some non-standard graph, you just get the equation between them and solve. Let's get this. Is minus 1 by 2 root x. Nee, that is wrong, Abhinav. This is a Vx ka relation aayega. God, A is V dV by dx. Hope you didn't do dV by dx. Okay, let's see. Anyone else got the acceleration part? Try. Got a minute. I'll help you with the equation. If you see, this is looking like y is equal to mx. Y का प्लेस में v square, m का प्लेस में you have tan 45, x का प्लेस में you have 1 by x cube. So the relation between them is v square is 1 by x cube. Hope you got the equation right. That means we know v is equal to 1 by x power 3 by 2. What is acceleration? V dv by dx. So v is 1 by x power 3 by 2. dv by dx, this is basically x power minus 3 by 2, differentiation. So minus 3 by 2, x power minus 3 by 2 minus 1. Hope you didn't do integration ka formula there. Then this guy would be minus 3 by 2, that is 5 by 2 and 3 by 2, x power 4. That is your acceleration, right? Yeah, right there much. Got the acceleration part? Hope you didn't mix up the integration and differentiation formula. Then what do you want to find? Position as function of time t. So a is dx by dt. which is 1 by x power 3 by 2. So this would be x by 3 by 2 dx is equal to dt. Now this is where something gets interesting. So you want to go from 0 to t, you are going from xa to xp. What is xa? Understand this. This is 1 by xa ka cube. So xa is 1. This is 1 by xb ka cube. Xb is 2. Limits are not 1 to 1 by 8. You said you're going from a to b. So x coordinates you have to take. So xa is 1 and xb is 2 actually. Xb is not 1 by 8. 1 by 8 is 1 by xb cube. Hope you're getting the limits part. Because on the x-axis you don't have x coordinate. You have 1 by x cube on the x-axis here. So this limits will go from x to 5 by 2 by 5 by 2. Limits will go from 1 to 2 is equal to time. So we have 2 by 5. 2 to the power of 5 by 2 minus 1 is time. Please check. So the one thing here is, the limits of x, right? People goof up. They take 1 to 1 by 8. So when you're integrating x, you need x coordinates. So here x coordinates are what? 1 by xa cube is 1 and 1 by x cube is 1 by 8. There. This is how you can play with non-standard graphs. Have a look at this. Let me ask you one more. But these are actually quite easy. This is more of a calculus-based questions. Once you got the main equation, it is calculus-based. Then they'll give you straight lines only. Because if they give you any random curve, then they have to give the equation. And if they give the equation, then it is done. You have to use calculus. So non-standard graphs will look scary, but they're actually one of the easiest ones to solve. Assuming your calculus is good. Any doubts on this page? Let's see one more. Pratik, Nikhil, clear with this? Jainil? Got it, na, Ishana? Ansh, Ahna, clear with this thing? Can I go ahead, turning the page? Vignajit, clear so far? Pratik, go ahead. Next one. So we have a graph between x and 1 by v. This is 2. This is 3. This is 15. Find the time taken to go from x is equal to 3 to x is equal to 15 meters. Now, this is not a line passing through origin. This is some random line. Because if this line passes through the origin, you can clearly see tan theta should be 3 by 2. But this tan theta is 15 by 8. They're not matching. So that you need to figure out. It's not a line passing through origin. Try. You got 3 minutes. There are two ways to do this. One is a brute force and one we can figure it out. But that figuring it out part is actually difficult. Doesn't click. So I'll show you both. First, let's do the normal thing. Whatever you think, do it. Try. Give it a try, everyone. I'll just get some water and go. Someone got 54. It's an interesting answer. I don't think that is right. 55.5. That's even more interesting answer. 54. Now I'm curious. What did you do to get that answer? Vihan, send me your working ekbar. Let me see what goof up you did. Someone gave me the same answer last time. Nahi ho just that is wrong. 54 still looks cute. Your answer is 55.5 looks very weird. You took v is equal to 2 by x. Now that's a mistake, right? And like just now I told you, it is not passing through origin. Just now I told you it is not passing through origin. If you have taken that, then your answer is definitely gone. No, that is not the answer. Let's see whether you guys got the equation or not. One thing is sure, it's a straight line, but it is not passing through the origin. So y is equal to mx plus c. Now from here you can clearly see this angle theta is the slope. So this would be 12 and this would be 6. The slope of the line is tan theta is equal to m is equal to 2. So great. So I know this is y is equal to 2x plus c. Now at x is equal to 2, be careful here. 1 by v is equal to 2. It is not v. If you find the area, the logic was right, but you goofed up the area. So that means v is equal to 2 and x is equal to 2. So the equation, so y ka place mein we have x. Let's do one thing here. Y ka place mein we have x. M ka place mein we have 2 and x ka place mein we have 1 by v plus c. So we have x is equal to 2 by v plus c. We need to find that c ka value. So at x is equal to 2, v is also 2 plus c. So c is equal to 1. So there, that's your final equation. X is equal to 2 by v plus 1. This is the relation between both of them. Right? No, wait. C 1 by v is 2, wait. 1 by v is equal to 2. So when x is equal to 2, this is 2 into 2 plus c. C is actually minus 2. Shit, x is equal to 3. This is what am I doing? So that means the equation is x is 2 by v minus 1. There, that is the equation. It's not 54. You guys goofed up the equations. Let's see. That is the relation between x and v. So from here now it is just a matter of calculus. So x plus 1 is 2 by v. So v into x plus 1 is equal to 2. V is dx by dt, which is x plus 1 is equal to 2. So this is x dx plus dx is equal to 2 dt. Integrate on both sides. Limits will go from 0 to time. Here limits will go from 3 to 15 because you're going from 3 to 15. This should be x square by 2 limits 3 to 15 plus x 3 to 15 is equal to 2t. This is 225 minus 9 by 2 plus 15 minus 3 is 2t. This is 216 by 2. That's 108 plus 12 is 2t. 60 seconds, people. Yeah, right, Ansh. Check it out. The main thing is the equation. That's what I kept telling you. Once you got the equation, it is just a matter of calculus. This is not a line passing through origin. This is something else. Y is mx plus c. Y ka place mein x is there and x ka place mein 1 by v is there. This is pure max, everyone. There's no physics here. The left hand side. Right hand side is also max only, integration.
Sir,
Bolo.
sir, I did it using similar triangle. I found out C using similar triangles.
You got the same?
No, sir. I got
Then you
12
goofed up.
12 by 6 is equal to 15 by x. And I
How?
got a different answer.
This you're saying? Then you must have found this value, na? You need to find this value for C.
No, sir. That value would be 15 by 2. Therefore,
Which one? This is 15 by 2.
Therefore, 8 minus 15 by 2 would be 1 by 2.
But C is actually this point, right? Y-intercept.
Oh, okay, sir.
You found the x-intercept. Clear? All got this? Now this thing, there is a faster way to do this, but why exam it doesn't click. Let's see what is that. So that is the reason you should know a general process also. Now look at this thing. So we have an x and 1 by y graph. So we know v is dx by dt. So if I send dt that side, and if I take 1 by v and dx, and now integrate on both sides, we get integral dt is integral 1 by v dx. This will give you the time. So this is 1 by v into dx. This is the area under the graph, but there's a catch. Which area are you talking about? It should be dx, meaning on x-axis, you take a small piece dx, and then you take a triangle like this. Meaning here, dx should be the breadth, and this 1 by v should be the height of that piece. You're getting it? Meaning you're integrating these pieces here. So when you talk about this area, we are talking about this area, which is 12 meters here. This is 8. And this is 2. Basically this trapezium. And we know the area of the trapezium is half into the sum of the opposite parallel sides into the base 12. 60 seconds. But then again, I'm saying every time you won't be this lucky. You won't get something like this every time. Meaning, for example, the previous question, this v square and x cube, you couldn't have done anything here. So what happens in the exam, right? If you try to find the sequences every time, see, if you can find a sequence in 15-20 seconds, it is fine. But if you're wasting 2 to 3 minutes trying to figure out something, it is better you start integrating. Even though it takes a minute or more, at least you'll get the right answer. And you have that kind of time in the exam.
So, why did you take it as 8 and not as 8 minus 2, 6?
And this full trapezium record, area under the curve, right?
Okay, I considered the other.
You took this area, right?
Yeah.
वही
Yeah,
बोल रहा ना, देखो ना,
okay.
यहाँ पे who is the width and who is the height? 1 by v should be the height and dx is the width.
Hmm.
That is what I'm saying. It is very इसीलिए idea नहीं आता ये question में. Because we are so habituated to finding this area, it never clicks that we have to take this area. So when I saw this question for the first time, right, even I just did integration. And then I started thinking, yeah, why is this question there? Can't I do in some other way? Then I figured it out. But it won't click. That's what I was saying. If this comes in the exam, I will brute force do integration. I'll spend 3 minutes, I'll get the answer. This would have given me in 1 minute. But I don't have the confidence that I can figure this out in the exam. Under so much pressure and so much tension, I won't be able to do it. Not only this thing, generally, whenever, see, it's like this. If I have two options, I will get a question in 1 minute, but I have to think logically and I have to understand critically. Sochna padega. Another question will give me answer in 3 minutes, but I know what am I doing and what is happening. I would prefer the 3 minutes one. So is it speed and accuracy? I would prefer the accurate one, assuming the time difference is not too big. So that way. So that is one of the graphs there. So these are non-standard graphs. So that is the last one for the day. With that, we are done with kinematics. We touched almost 90 questions. Yes. So do start solving whatever you're solving, your booklet, any material that you're solving, do finish it off end to end. We did 90 questions. Your notes itself is a big collection of questions. 90 questions, I think we didn't even repeat. Maybe we must have repeated 3-4 questions. But you will see at least 80 to 85 unique questions in the notes itself. So do have a look at this, right? And then next class, when we catch up, we will be starting with units and dimensions and errors. UD. So units and dimensions are not really that great. They're fine. The most important one is errors. This comes in advance a lot. Errors is one thing where we'll focus more. Units and dimensions are okayish.